to Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. I'm Luke.
I'm Griffin.
And we are back again with a guest right before we go on spring break, so you won't see us for another week. But here joining us again is a returning guest, the one, the only, Sheldon Turner.
Hello, everybody. I'm back. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course.
Of course. So, Sheldon, what movie did you choose?
The movie that I had chosen was What's Love Got to Do with It? Now, I was actually stuck between the Selena movie and this one, but then I was just like, let's do What's Love Got to Do with It. And why is because, well, I thought like it would just, allow for just maybe something a little bit more deeper. Like both those movies are tragic. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm like, not a lot of people talks about Tina Turner. So and how ironic. She's got I've got her last name, so he was born before me.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So the film is a biography focusing on her life, mostly revolving around the struggle between her and her would-be husband, and then ex-husband. Also, the opening credits kind of say that it's based on the book Tina, I believe is what it's called.
I think.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So as far as adaptation-wise goes, I don't know how well it translates or not because I've not read said book.
I haven't read the book either.
I have not.
I can only go off the movie.
Right, same here. So what do we think about this? You chose the movie. We'll start with you.
Okay, so I really think that this movie was, like I said, tragic, and it was just I liked how it illustrates her resilience, and that's really a theme I got from it. It's just like you can be put in such a situation that you don't even recognize as like quote unquote bad. You think it's good, and especially from her background, she doesn't really like facilitate what's going on with it being a bad situation. So it's like you can be put in a bad situation, and then when you say to yourself enough is enough, then it's like you can break away. And so that was really like the cherry on top, that breakaway where you just leave everything behind and you just go be you, go live.
I think there is like a term for like what it's called when like you're in like an abusive situation or something like that, but it's like you don't really see it as abusive even though it is. Is that like is that Stockholm's? No, that's is that
I'm thinking
no, it's not.
of just like the toxic label, but
The toxic,
it can be both, but I don't know.
Abusive, toxic, yeah. But just kind of for more of a general thought. As you said, like the film really depicts her struggle pretty well, I'd say. I was after I finished watching the movie last night, I was kind of looking through the Wikipedia page just a little bit, and I saw like apparently like Tina Turner herself said like the film didn't do like a really good job of like adapting her struggles, which I was kind of like a little bit like, oh, it's just maybe it wasn't exactly how everything happened or whatnot, but I still think it's a good movie, but I just don't know about like the adaptation or like how she felt about it exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in film it's kind of tricky to get that, especially because abuse is one of those things that's hard to watch. Then it's hard for people that experience that to then recite to you exactly how it went.
Right.
Because that's a hard thing to process themselves. So I can understand that. But I do agree that it is a good movie. I'm a very big fan of the acting here with Angela Bassett as Tina Turner and Lawrence Fishburne as Ike. Yeah. Although it felt very weird seeing a young Angela Bassett.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Because
Go ahead.
Sure. Because like the first time I'd seen her was like Black Panther.
Same here.
But yeah, seeing her like so much younger was like I almost didn't recognize her.
And she doesn't even age.
No,
like she looks the same as she does in Black Panther.
Yeah, not much aging going on, and it felt weird too because that's the movie that I like. You saw her first, right? So I'm thinking of the cadence of voice and tone in that. And then seeing this instead and hitting the high notes and everything, like that's some range. So
yeah,
good job, girl. Also, Lawrence Fishburne as well. Thank you. Lawrence Fishburne as well. Very, very serious. He knows how to put on the charm at times, but man, if he's trying to like act like an abusive person, it's weird to say like you look like a good abuser, right? But
Right, yeah.
he pulls the role off.
Yeah, you can still be a good actor and still have like a really terrible person as a role too. It's not like, obviously I don't think he's like an abusive person, but like him playing that role, it's just like he does it pretty well, I'd say.
Now with that, I just wonder how these actors or actresses are like able to go about their lives after playing these roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially for people that play roles that are so deeply immersive to where like that's all you are. Like I think back to Austin Butler and Elvis, right, where he's just kind of stuck with that Elvis tone because he's practiced it for so long, so he just like can't not sound like him anymore. But yeah, so very big fan of the acting. Aesthetic wise too, this covers a lot of time from I think late 50s through early to mid 80s.
Like it went through pretty quick.
Yeah, like 30 years.
Yeah, the aesthetic is still pretty good. I don't think it shifts a ton between those decades, which is kind of odd. I think the more you get towards the end of the 70s into the 80s, that's when it really starts to kind of shift.
Yeah.
But fan of that. Very authentic. Also the music.
Oh yeah.
Music was great.
From the start to the end.
I mean, I will admit I have not listened to a lot of Tina Turner. I've probably heard a couple of her popular songs, but like still in the movie, it was really, really good.
Yeah.
I think Angela Bassett like lip synced everything too.
That's my guess because there's some songs that don't perfectly seem to line up, but there are others that look really legit.
We had that issue with the last movie we did when I was a guest with the lip syncing. Remember the band and Dope?
Yes, I do.
See, what's up with these movies and their lip syncing?
It's just like, I don't know, just either try to get it right or maybe have them sing it, but then again, it wouldn't sound the same. So,
yeah, I don't know. But it's Tina Turner, man. The music's good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm seated. But something that kind of bothers me, because I've never liked a movie, is, there's a lot of time that passes, and it's a very struggle-based movie. Mm-hmm. And that kind of causes some problems with, I think, its pacing a little for me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think mostly to the time jump whenever Tina and Ike's first kid is born, just happens.
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't even know that happened. I'm just like, oh, that fast?
You're just kind of like, because it really just goes from like such kind of like an upbeat to like, boom, she has a kid. And it's just like, and then the film kind of just keeps going, and you kind of have to catch later on, like, oh, she has a kid now. So it's like new stuff's kind of being thrown at you sometimes.
Then you see even more kids.
Yeah. And
like,
then,
whoa.
Then those two other kids get left at the doorstep by Ike's, like,
ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. And like I know that she's most likely pregnant off the rip because there's that one scene where they get together, and then I would assume, right?
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just the transition between that scene and then cutting to, hey, we have a kid now. Just very, very jarring. And it gets a little bit better with the transitions later because more of those, I guess they're not title cards, but
there's like text saying like 1970.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think as their relationship progressed, then we get to be able to like see, okay, we are in this time period, and it actually makes sense. I think it was kind of rushed in the beginning to like give like background of who she is. We didn't even get a background of who he was. If we really think about it.
Who Ike was. Yeah, he just kind of showed up.
He does show up. I think we have enough to where it's not something I will be bothered about, but I do agree. We're not spending a ton of time on it.
It's not like a biography. Well, it is a biography, but it's not like...
It's not about Ike.
It's not about him, And like with Ike, I think like it's kind of like given that like he already has like an established career. So like when he shows up, it's not like he's just randomly showing up. It's like he kind of has a name for himself, and then he meets Tina, and then they get together, and then it just kind of goes from there. So his inclusion's kind of like it's pretty ironed in smoothly, I'd say.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into deep thought a little bit. I'm going to circle back around too, because there's just a couple other things I didn't vibe with. Because I really have never liked a movie. The cinematography I thought was just kind of, you know, like I wasn't floored by it, but it's also a biography.
Biopic.
Like a biopic.
Biopic, yeah. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, right? Like that's not what its intended purpose is. The intended purpose is to
get
tell
the point
life
across.
Story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it does do that, but it's just like, you know, it doesn't feel like anything special. It's just, it's weird to say that it feels like the baseline, because in film there really is no baseline. It's just, did you follow rule of thirds? And then like a couple other compositional things.
Yeah.
I feel like it's only really hitting the compositional things, if that makes sense.
I feel like on a semi-related note to the cinematography, I do know that they put like archive footage of Tina Turner like at different intervals throughout the movie. I think like there's a few different shots that are like black and white, and I think that's like actually her. So it's like I feel like that inclusion is pretty cool for any biopic, really.
Yeah, I caught on to that, but something that doesn't sit right with me is I don't know if it is or isn't archival, because, well, hold on, let me retrace. Where did you see that it was?
I saw, okay, this might be a bit of a stretch, but on the Letterboxd page for this movie, it does show like Tina Turner as herself in archival footage.
Does it explicitly say in archival footage?
It says like Tina Turner as self. So
okay, that's at the very end of the movie.
I was just about to say
that's at the end. Okay.
Yes, at the very end of the concert, that is actual Tina Turner.
But during the movie, I don't remember.
Yes,
yeah,
because the black and white shot you're talking about,
that is
whenever Ike steps out of the car, that's Lawrence Fishburne, and then for a split second you see Tina in the background and it's Angela, and then it cuts back to the color.
Okay, I was
so they didn't really
so
they didn't show the actual Tina Turner until
the end. Okay. That clarifies a lot of things, actually.
That's when they transitioned to that like tour or that concert she had, and then that's when they did it.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Along that line, though, I do appreciate that they added that in there. I like whenever biopics at the end wrap things up and then show you what the actual people look like, and then kind of tie things up on like, this happened to this person afterwards, this happened to this person, right? So getting to see that's nice touch.
I should have looked up what Tina Turner actually said about the movie. Or did you just say? Did you just bring up that point earlier on?
I kind of did, yeah.
Yeah,
it's like
I didn't. I should have looked that up and see if she had any thoughts about the movie.
I think she said like, gosh,
because you mentioned the struggle. She wasn't like,
she like
water.
Oh yeah, it was just it wasn't
like
really like that. Yeah.
Accurate or just like some things that the movie depicted didn't really happen. So it's like, I think that's kind of where like that's kind of like a little bit of a drawback for me, because it's like kind of like what's meant to be a biopic and like meant to display these people's lives isn't like truly displaying what happens. And like I know that can't be done to like down to a T with like 100% accuracy, like I get that, but like at the same time, if like even like the person that the biopic is about is saying like certain stuff didn't happen, then it's like kind of like, why would you change that? And it's just a little bit like, I don't know.
Now what's your last drawback?
Last drawback, yeah. This one I'm not willing to take points off on unless you guys also had the same problem. I swear to God, the audio output in the mixing on this was atrocious. Is that the case, or am I tripping?
It was quiet a lot. I noticed.
Okay.
I had my headphones on when I watched the movie, so maybe I wasn't able to just tell.
Okay, because I also, like, I had my laundry running in the background, right? So I had that going on. But the songs were much louder than the dialogue. Some of the dialogue I just could not hear. So I had to put the subtitles on, and that's fine. But, yeah, I don't know if the mixing was off or if I was tripping.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I'll have to go back to that.
I do turn on the subtitles for like almost everything that I watch, so it's like it's kind of a problem.
It's
no,
not
really,
problem,
but whatever. Yeah, I had the subtitles on, and then like I do think like the songs were fine; those were mixed fine, and then the dialogue I think was kind of quiet. It wasn't like it wasn't like mixed on the same level as like the songs, and it's just like I kind of had to turn the volume up on my headphones a bit during the movie too. So
Yeah, sometimes I'll even rewind. Even though I have the subtitles, I'm like, okay, I didn't even realize that was just said. So I'll just go back and, okay, get the full context of what's going on.
And some of that could have been intended if like characters are meant to speak kind of soft in a scene.
Yeah.
But if it's very conversational dialogue and Lawrence Fishburne I can hear clearly, and then Tina Turner says something, it's like this, and I can't really hear it. Then like I don't know what you just said. So
right.
So so let me ask y'all this. I want to see where y'all head is on this. So from the first scene, the church scene, was that something that like that y'all were able to tell what the movie was gonna be like in terms of like how people treated young anime Bullock with like from that scene with was that her? I think it was her grandma.
I don't know if it was the grandma or just the church. Not
It was
pastor,
either
but, like,
grandma
choir
or the
leader.
church, like the like call him the mother of the church. It was either one of those two, and they just had a problem that she was just singing the song in her own cadence, and so just essentially wanted some control over disciplining the child just because she wants to do things her way. So were y'all able to kind of get a picture of okay, this is how this movie is gonna go?
I feel like a little bit, yeah. It's like that opening scene. It's like she's trying to sing the song her way, and it's like she keeps like getting like reprimanded and eventually kind of just thrown outside. And so like, yeah, there's kind of like that little there's like that sense of control, and it's just like that does become apparent throughout the movie. I guess upon like first seeing it, like maybe I didn't quite catch on to it, but now that you're bringing it up, it's definitely very prominent.
Because it wasn't like she was just completely off with the song.
Right.
She still had her powerful voice. It was still strong. And you just got this older person that's just trying to tell you what to do. And then it really aligns with how she goes into the relationship with Ike because, well, since the beginning, she's just been told what she can and cannot do.
Heaven forbid someone add a little whimsy to their song, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely some foreshadowing and symbolism going on there. I definitely caught that, and then it kind of comes back up later, like you said, with Ike's relationship and all that. But yeah, those are really my only qualms with the movie. I'm fine with everything else, but I want to hear a little bit more about what you guys thought before we get into some deep thoughts here.
Just in general?
Yeah, just in general. Or if you have anything specific.
I'm ready to get into the nitty
Yeah,
gritty.
trying to think. Hold on.
I'll probably be like the worst person to ask what I don't like about a movie because I'd like to find the best things in a movie. Mm-hmm. And especially when it's something I know I want to watch. Because there are times where I'll fall asleep during a movie. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I got to watch it again.
That's how I feel with, it's a very niche one, or not niche, everybody knows it, but Rocky Horror Picture Show. Mm-hmm. I watched that at like 3 a.m. one night and like fell asleep halfway through and woke up at the trippiest scene of all time. I can't remember anything prior to it. It just was a really weird dance number, so I need to rewatch it because everybody's like, it's really good. And I was like, guys, I don't know what I was watching. So I get it.
So kind of a question I had. It's not it ties in with this movie a bit, but it's kind of more of a general question too. Like when making a biopic, is it more important to stick to the facts, maybe add a little bit of entertainment, or should it be like some kind of not like something like this, but like something where it's like, you know, it kind of remains true, but it also changes a lot of things too. Like so I'll just kind of restate the question. When making a biopic, is historical accuracy more important, or is like the entertainment value just slightly more important?
Depends on who you ask, but I think to the people who actually are producing and directing the movie, like the producers of the movie, they just want to make it to where they can, of course, profit from it. So it depends on who they're doing a biopic of. Right. So like there's this is just because Angela Bassett didn't play so many roles in these historical black movies. So I can just reference the another Angela Bassett movie that she played in as the mother for the Jackson 5 family. And that was a biopic from like the 90s, but it wasn't like this top box office kind of movie. It was more like a comforting at home movie, just for people to just get some insight on the Jackson 5 family. And the actor who played their dad, he said that he had an actual conversation with Joe Jackson, and they were able to converse on it. And of course, like, some of that stuff was more exaggerated, but also, like, that's really how his dad was, or how their dad was. So, like I said, it really just depends on who the biopic is about and whether the producers want to be accurate with it and maybe know that it could get more money or could not, just gamble with it. Yeah. Or if they just really want to profit off of it and just kind of like just really, really, really exaggerate it.
Yeah, I think because by default, right, they're actors, they're being paid to act in it. There's going to be a level of exaggeration no matter what, but at the same time, you got to have that fundamental historical aspect to it where you are being true to how things work. 'Cause without that, you're really not doing a biopic anymore. You're doing fiction or historical fiction, which aren't the same. So for me, I think I would lean more on the historical angle, but if there's some stuff that you want to exaggerate to not stretch what the truth is, but more so emphasize points, that I think would be fine.
Great point.
So I'm gonna go with historical more.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
It's like kind of branching off what Luke said. Like, yeah, no, I think like at the end of the day, if you're making a movie, there's going to be like mostly entertainment in mind for it. And there's going to be like some exaggeration. Like, I think to an extent it's fine. It's like not everything's got to be like history textbook and, you know, putting you to sleep. But at the same time too, like kind of sticking to the books is also kind of pretty important too, just so you're not like straight up like almost lying in a way too. So it's like
precisely.
Yeah. Kind of spinning off with this idea of sticking to the history and all that. Deep thought. Do we think that this focuses enough on Tina's solo career? Yes or no? And why?
For the most part, almost no. Because like a lot of the movies kind of focus on like just that one part of her life where she meets Ike, is with Ike, and then in the end divorces Ike. Like, there's not really a lot covering her solo career. I feel like that's all within like the last half hour or something. So it's like most of the film's focused on her career with Ike and kind of getting started. But yeah, I don't think it really focuses that much on her solo career at all. It covers like the highlights, but it doesn't really.
Movie low key could have been Ike Turner, What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah. What are you thinking, man?
Nah, but that, I mean, because when we get those instances where she's trying to branch out and do her own thing, there's Ike Turner saying, You out of your mind, girl. What you think you doing? You gonna run off without me? You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. So a lot of times you would hear that, like Ike and Tina Turner, like they try. I think with the movie, it really put a lot. I don't know if this is how it really was in real life, but in the movie, it's Tina Turner would be nothing without Ike. So that's really how the movie tried to portray everything in her career. But in terms of her solo career, we don't really see it because, like I said, every time we got an instance of her trying to do her own thing. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I do agree. I do not think that there's enough time spent on the solo career. However, this movie feels really long, so I think it would have been better to cut certain things with Ike and Tina to then add that filler time to keep the same runtime with more of the solo career to help balance things out. I understand that the film's point is not necessarily to focus just on her solo career. It's mostly about the conflicts in her life, and I think we do a good job of that. It's just, it's not in depth on every single thing that it probably should. And that's something that worries me a little bit, like as I was watching it and thinking about it, it worries me a little bit for the Michael Jackson movie that we've got coming up, where we know, at least from trailers, Jackson 5 is getting touched on a little bit, elaborating on that side of things. Some of Michael's early family life, then his early recording careers, later songs and albums and that sort of thing. And then that's really about it. I know we're at least catching up to where Bad takes place around like 2012. I don't know how much further past that they plan to go. So I don't know if that movie itself is also going to have enough time to touch on everything. But I also remember that I think they might try and split that into 2 parts. So maybe part 1 just catches up there. Part 2 deals with it later. As far as I know right now from what's officially been released, it's just the 1.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that might have a similar problem where it just tries to do a little too many things and doesn't hit on every single spot that I think it probably should.
Now, is it because it's just so much that you have to try and put into a movie?
It almost feels a little rushed. Yes, there's a lot that you have to touch on, especially in biopics if you're doing it right. There's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
I look at Bohemian Rhapsody, though. That doesn't touch on every single thing, but it touches on a good majority of it and does a good job of it. This movie's angle not being just the flat biopic, show everything, is more on the struggles. So it really hammers those points home more than anything. And it's trying to adapt the book as well. So I'm wondering if that's where some of that problem's coming in.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because you usually get more out of a book than the movie. The movie is just for the ones who didn't read the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm wondering if that's where some of that problem comes in. But that doesn't vibe for me very well plot-wise. It's just kind of very quick into the solo career, done. And then it also almost seems flawless, where she gets to show up. She's not performing the best of gigs and then immediately signed, and boom, she's at the concert and the movie ends. So I don't know if I like that fully. I think some more elaboration would have been nice. But
yeah, I think it's got to be a tough thing to do a biopic, just because, especially with artists like these or like historical figures like these folks, it's a lot to cover. So you just gotta set so much amount of time and so much material in one movie, and it can just kind of like throw you off, and then it throws us off as the audience.
There was like a biopic that came out last year about Bruce Springsteen, Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, that I really loved. I saw it in theater, and I just thought it was really well done. And it really just focuses on like just one point in his career when he's like making his, I don't know if it's like his first album or something, but he's making like probably his most well-known album. And I feel like kind of translating that to this movie, it's like it almost could have like just either focused on her struggles or just focused on like her solo career. It almost didn't need to try and cover both. I get like it's trying to adapt from the book or like something like that, but at the same time too, kind of just having that focus on one pivotal point in your career could also make for just an interesting biopic as is.
So in general, would it be better to do a docuseries or like you get what I'm saying? Like a docuseries, or just do a movie? Like,
see, this is where it's tricky, and it really is, because both have the exact same problem. You're going to get criticized no matter what.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not a good way to really fit every single thing in, because let's say you touch on however many aspects or something and you do phenomenally there. It's like, okay, well, this part's technically inaccurate because you have to fit it in for a movie runtime. Or if you have a series, you know, you're kind of spacing out one set thing. Or if you're jumping between too many things, it's like, oh, the style changes too many times.
Yeah.
Or, oh, this doesn't really happen that way. Or you simply didn't mention this from right after the movie ends. Well, why didn't you bring that up? You know, so there's no good way to get around it. I think for this specific thing, I'm fine with it being in a movie format because fundamentally it does do what it needs to do to show and maybe not explain, but just show
Get the point.
struggle. Yeah. So I get that part. I think I'm fine with it being a movie for this, but yeah, that's just a general thing with biopics. It's really hard to capture every single thing.
It is, yeah. Because like with biopics, it's like you have the choice of either just covering the entire career and kind of making it feel almost a bit rushed, kind of like with this movie, or it's just like you focus on like one point in an artist's career, and it's still like really well done too. I mean, the Springsteen one specifically, it just covers one part of his career, and then that's just like the entire movie. Or like with this one, it's kind of like the start of career to the kind of like through most of her solo career. And so, yeah, it's just like it can be hard to pick that kind of choice.
Well, gentlemen, do we think we're ready for some ratings, or we got anything else we want to touch on?
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Alrighty. Well, Sheldon, you chose the movie. It's only right we start with you. What are you thinking? Out of 5.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
Pertaining to the theme of it and like being able to really get an understanding and comprehend with what it's trying to relay, I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
All right.
But for the movie, just overall and in general, I give it a 3. Give it a 3.
What makes the two different for you?
Because I get like the point stands out, especially coming from a black background. It's that deep. It's rooted in a lot of different things. It's rooted like when I think of like black males that put themselves in certain positions like Ike would, that just comes from like insecurity. It comes from just, I mean, he was a addict. Mm-hmm. So like we have these drug problems, and that's how those kind of things influence how we are towards relationships. It influences it. And just that movie with the overall idea of obtaining what it wants to, what like its meaning. Yeah, I get it. Like it gets that serious. Like it gets that bad. And then to see when somebody can really get out of a situation like that and just have their breakthrough, even when the odds are against them, it's the best. Like, I love seeing it. Like, some people are not able to adapt to change, and that's what young Anna Mae Bullock's issue was. Like, if she was adjusted to something or acclimated in certain things, she felt that was for her. But then when she took a risk and just like went out there for herself and actually did things for herself, she was willing to get some help from a friend, and that friend, like, and it's good to have relationships because not all relationships are bad. So with this good relationship she had with her friend was able to get her to say enough is enough. That's the thing. That's really the point. Like, when is enough enough? Mm-hmm. Like, we have to know in ourselves when enough is enough. And when we know when enough is enough, then we will be able to get through life a lot more easier.
Right.
So that's why I really say, like, I differentiate the two, because getting the point, oh yeah, like, astronomical. But overall,
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction to make too. It's hard for you and I, because we were reviewing things on a regular and using a 5-star scale.
Right.
It's hard to get the point across sometimes with our ratings to fully explain like how we view or feel about something. But then that's also a twofold problem where it's like, oh, well, if you can't really explain it, just upgrade your scale to a 10 scale, and then you have more room to get that murky. And then that bothers me too, because I can't for the life of me tell you what an 8.5 out of 10 means. Like,
Right.
It's
It's
too broad. So I do get the point. I understand the discrepancy between the two and the difference.
I'm not out here about to rate something like 7.3 to 9.8 out of 10.
No.
Right? Yeah, no, that's just too broad. But
All right. What are we thinking?
in terms of my rating, I think it did a really good job, like, you know, showing her struggles, and her learning when enough is really enough. And like, I see the only real turnoff for me is just like probably kind of missing some of that historical accuracy. But and then maybe like some minor problems with like the sound not really being like the right volume, but like that's not like the biggest issue for me. So overall, I would say 4 out of 5 for me.
All right.
So Luke,
Yeah, for me, it's a good movie, right? And I think, like we've been saying, it touches on the point that it needs to about specifically Tina Turner's struggles with her husband. That perfectly fine. Everything else, like the cinematography, nothing crazy. The acting is great. Don't get that twisted.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just feels a little rushed once we get to like a certain point, right? So I don't know. It doesn't fully strike. So I think a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Good movie.
I say really like a 3 because like of course it would be improvements, but it does what it needs to do. Like it asks the question, what's love got to do with it? Like, is love going to be the cause for such detriment in your life? Or is love going to be the reason why you have this realization, oh, I got to go? Mm-hmm. Is it even love? What's love got to do with it?
what is love?
Baby, don't hurt me. Sorry. Well, Sheldon, thank you for coming on the podcast. I do appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate y'all for having me, and I appreciate y'all for actually watching the movie because y'all could have been like, man, we ain't watching that.
No, that
because it's rough. It's a rough movie. Y'all could have just easily been like, no, but y'all took the chance and y'all actually gave me an opportunity to get on y'all platform, man. I just want to tell y'all keep going with the platform. Y'all doing excellent. Y'all can only get better. Look, y'all got.
Yeah, we're coming up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but since the last episode, but we finally got some of the OBS stuff to set up properly. So hopefully the quality on our cameras looks stronger than it has been.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Change. See?
Yeah. Coming up in the world.
Coming up.
Well, that'll do it for this week's episode of the Two Dudes Talk Movies podcast. We will not be back next week because we will be on spring break. I fully intend on sleeping in because I need it desperately. But
For real.
We will be back the week after next. So I'll see you then with another movie. But for the time being, I'm Luke.
I'm Griffin.
And I'm Sheldon.
Till then, bye.
Bye.